Last year, I did a little unofficial plan to pan. I wanted to see how many items I could actually get through, and I didn't really keep a lot of track. I just picked items that I wanted to finish last year. And I was pretty successful with panning some of those items. So I decided to do an official plan to pan this year. These are 26 items that I brought in for my 26 and 26 project pan. I'm going to give you starting weights and what they weighed at the end of March, side-by-side photos on things that you can see visible progress, and I'll tell you how many times I used them. So if you like completionist project pans, or you just like talking about makeup in general, then stick around. Hi, I'm Andi. Welcome or welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. I'm going to go in the order that I have them on my spreadsheet. I did a little bit of Frankening, so at the end of this list, I will show you what I did. I will tell you what I did. I will show you photos, all the things. So first up is the IT Illuminating CC Cream. As you can see, it is gone. I cannot get any more out of it. Yes, I could cut it open and dig those last little drips and drabs out, but I'm not going to do that. It had a starting weight at 38.52 grams. And an ending weight of 21.12 grams for a difference of 17.4 grams. This was just finished at I believe the first week in March is when I finished it. And it had a total of 43 uses since being brought into the project. All of my uses are from January until the end of March. Next up is the RCMA No Color Powder. This is going to be a product that I will not finish this year. And I really don't know why I brought it in other than I really want to finish it. This is my oldest powder by far. It's like 8 years old. And as you can see, there is quite a bit left. And I have a couple of products that I have mixed this in with to get the consistency, the color, whatever that I wanted. And so yeah, this is not going to be done. This has no use on it. When I brought it in, it weighed 59.75 grams, but now it weighs 59.73 grams for a difference of 0.02 with no uses. So I don't know what happened there. Probably something with my scape. I have the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in the shade Always Rosy. As you can see, this big pan in here, is this going to be done by the end of the year? I don't know. There is still so much product left in here, so I'm not sure, but I have made a lot of progress. When I brought this in, it weighed 39.47 grams. It now weighs 38.68 grams for a difference of 0.79 grams, and it had 26 uses. You can see how that pan has expanded, and I am very happy. Is it going to be finished this year? I don't know. So how I use this is I take this is kind of a small blush brush, and I swirl it around the outsides so it is wearing down evenly. I don't know. When I can no longer pick it up with a brush, I will probably transfer it into a smaller pan and repress it. I no longer use alcohol when I repress. I don't like it. It does change the formula. People say it doesn't. For me, it does. And I've realized that everything that I've repressed using alcohol, I have not liked it once it dried. It was too hard. It was too, I can't, it was too dry. It was too dry. So I do dry repress without using alcohol, and I like it better, but you can't dry repress like in the middle of a pan. Like when you use alcohol and you repress it in the middle of a pan, you can't do that with it's too crumbly. It won't. It needs to be packed in something. So I might use a 26 millimeter like eyeshadow pan and do it that way. You guys, I don't know what I'm gonna do once it gets there, but for now I can still use my blush brush and it's fine. I have two ColourPop Super Shock blushes. The first one is Brute Flute, and it is a beautiful rosy brown shade. I think what I'm going to do after this video is I'm going to, because it's still very creamy, and I might take a spatula and move everything over to this side. It would be a lot easier to pick up on my brush if I would to do that. But this started at 26 grams even. It now weighs 25.37 grams for a difference of 0.63 grams. And as you can see with the side by side, the pan has expanded quite a bit. I'm really excited for that to be gone this year because it is my oldest cream blush. A lot of times I use these together. What with this? This was 26 uses. This is 23 uses. So I use them together a lot. The other Super Shock blush I have is in the shade Sounds Grape. There's not even a pan in here, you guys. It started at 27.61 grams. It now weighs 27.57 grams for a difference of 0.04 grams. And if you look at the side by side, not a whole lot of difference. And I don't know, it's very, very thin in the middle, but very thick around the edges because I use a brush, a very dense brush, when I use this, just like I use with this. So if I don't hit pan by the middle of the year, I don't think it's going to be finished. I don't think it's going to be finished this year anyway. It will probably be rolled over until next year, but we'll talk about that when that actually happens. I only had 5 uses on this, so yeah, it's probably not going to be done by the end of the year unless I use the heck out of it during the summer, which I don't know. I have 2 ColourPop Super Shock highlighters, and the first one is Flexitarian, OG Flexitarian. It is beautiful. I used both of these to underpaint underneath my foundation. That's how I'm getting the use on them. This came in at 26.12 grams. It now weighs 26 grams even, so a difference of 0.12 grams. And it has had 12 uses since January. And what I do with both of these is I just run my finger around the edge and then just paint it on my cheeks with my finger. You can see a little bit of expansion in the pan. And I'm really happy. I'm happy with the progress that I've made on there with 12 uses. Next up is Felicity. I use this in the exact same way. I underpaint with it. It started at 26.1 grams. It now weighs 25.79 grams for a difference of 0.31 grams. And it had 11 uses up until the end of March. I don't know if you can see, I have been using it this month, so this and the side-by-side is going to look a little different, but you can see it's getting very thin around that edge there, so I'm hoping to hit side pan on that very soon. And I don't think I'm going to, it's still very creamy, but it is starting to get a little crumbly, so I don't think I'm going to mess with it. And since I just used my finger to do it, I think it'll be fine without like repressing it or moving it over to the side. And then the last item that carried over last year, well, there's one other, but that's one of the ones we'll talk about at the end. But this is the Beauty Creations Dazzling Lip Gloss, Ultra Dazzle Lip Gloss in the shade Pretty Girl. And that is where it was when I brought it in. And I didn't have much use on it. It started at 25.59. At the end of March, it weighed 25.50 for a difference of 0.09. But since then, I have been making it a point to use it. So just disregard that bit of progress there because that was not from last month. But I have been using it this time, and I now have hopes that this will be done by the end of the year because I was sweating it, you guys. I'm like, I don't really like using it, but I have been using it. I realize that I don't mind it as much as I thought I did. I don't think I mentioned this only had 2 uses. 2 uses. Yeah, but it will be done. It will be done. Okay, now I'm going to talk about all of the items that were brought in January that had not been in this project previously. So first up is my e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. This is in the shade 280N. This weighed 34.6 grams when I brought it in. It now weighs 26.38 grams for a difference of 8.2 grams. You guys, it's almost done. I love these airless pumps. I love airless pumps. Yeah, okay, so there is a little bit left down in there, but you guys, you get so much more out than you would like a bottle with a pump in it. So I love the tubes that have the airless pumps. But this had a total of 23 uses. I have been using other things. Well, I wanted to finish this first before I really started concentrating on this. So that's why it only has 23 uses, but still 23 uses. That's awesome. And this is one of my oldest foundations. So I'm really going to be happy to get this out. This is another Camo CC cream, but this one is in the shade 310C. This has 3 uses, and that was only to color correct, darken up another foundation. So there's not much weight loss on this. It started off at 43.87 grams, and now it weighs 43.77 grams for a difference of 0.1 grams. Like I said, 3 uses. But here, when I get some color on my face, well, when this one's done, when this one is completely done, I give it another, maybe by the end of April, it might be done. So this one will be my focus. And I know that I will be able to finish this year. It's right here. So I know I'll be able to finish this year. And that will be 3 foundations out of my collection just from this project. So excited about that. Next up, another empty. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I love this product. I have not replaced this yet. Let me tell you the stats on it, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So this came in at 117.21 grams, and it is now sitting at 108.31 grams for a difference of 8.86 grams. I don't know how much this actual just packaging weighs, because there is, you know, you can see it on the sides up there, but I'm calling it done. But what I'm going to do, because I put the stopper back in it because I knew I was going to be storing it, like it's going to be on its side, and I didn't want it to be gross, but you can see that it is completely empty down in there. But what I'm going to do after this video is I'm going to clean this out, and I'm going to make my own. I have tinted moisturizers that don't get used because I don't really love tinted moisturizers. I have glow products. I have a lot of different things that I can use to make something very comparable. So that's going to be my goal. I have bronzing drops. I have all kinds of things that I can use. So maybe I'll talk about that in my Q2 update, but I'm very excited to do that. With the products that I've chosen for that, I think it's going to be a good dupe. I really do. But this had a total of 19 uses, and so it was done in February, and it's just been hanging out waiting for this update. Next up is the Dr. Brandt. This is the backlight primer. This is a beautiful primer. It has a glow to it, but it also blurs pores a little bit. Now it's not like my Revolution Pore Blur. It's not a pore blurring primer. It just makes your skin look good. So this came in at 36.04 grams. At the end of March, it weighed 21.68 grams for a difference of 14.72 grams. This one's almost done. I will see. I should have marked where it is, but when I use it, so there's like that much left. And I will get everything from the bottom, but it is a lovely primer. I don't know if they still make this. I know my other primer that I really loved, I think it was called the Illuminizer primer. I know that it's not still available. I had 31 uses on this up until the end of March. So yeah, I use it quite a bit. Next up is the Avon. Well, it says FMG, which it's Avon. This is the Magic Tint, Magic's Tint. I've had this for a really long time, and it is a illuminating skin tint. So I mixed this in with a foundation to give it a little glow, although it doesn't really give as much of a glow as what I would like. It is still a nice product. I also use this to color correct because it is a little dark. This came in at 35.13 grams. At the end of March, it weighed 20.63 grams for a difference of 14.5 grams, and it has had 25 uses. So both of these, I think, will be done by the end of April. So look for those to be empty in the Q2 update. All Right now we have some lip pencils, some liners. We have 3 from ColourPop and 1 from Huda. So the first one is BFF, and it came in at 6.49 grams. It now weighs 5.96 grams for a difference of 0.53 grams. I've used the absolute heck out of this. It has had 30 uses. And what I do with this is I will do a darker liner and then blend that out and then put this in the center of my lip. And that's how I've been using it. It is broken down in there. And just in the last couple of days, I had quite a bit of a difference because it had fallen out, and I sharpened it down to see where the lead was, and that's where it is. And according to Erin, on the L is when it's going to be empty. Erin has finished enough of these to know when it's actually empty. I have the O. I said, is this where it's done? She was like, it's the L, but the same thing, because I sent her a picture. So this one's almost done. And this one will definitely be done by the end of the year. I use it quite a bit. I also use this to kind of contour my lip a little bit. Next up is BFF2. And this one came in at 5.64 grams. At the end of March, it weighed 5.17 grams for a difference of 0.47 grams. And this one is also, they're all broken, but this one did not break. So again, I have it marked where it's going to be done. I have used this 12 times. So the BFF got used way more than BFF2. This is a very warm toned lip liner, so I will get more use out of this in the coming months because I do tend to wear a little bit warmer makeup in this late spring, early summer, and fall. So that I have no doubt that will be finished up. And then finally, for the BFFs, we have the Cool BFF, which is a cool toned liner. It's very, very cool toned. Again, the lead is broken in there, so we'll see how long that lasts. 6.84 is what it weighed when I brought it in. It now weighs 6.38 for a difference of 0.46. And I had a total of 24 uses on this. As I said, I wear a lot of cool toned in the winter, early spring. So this I was using the same way as I use the ColourPop regular BFF in the center as like an ombre lip. And on this one, I have that one marked as well. This one has a lot more to go. I'm also, you'll see my little progress pictures on how far that's come. And then the last lip pencil I have is the Huda Lip Contour in the shade Muse. This came in at 4.07 grams. It now weighs 3.85 grams for a difference of 0.22 grams. I had 9 uses on this, and it is a dark pink. I am going to keep this in, and I'm going to try to finish it. There can't be very much left, especially okay, for funsies, let's say it's going to be done the same place as a BFF. So that will be there. And when I use this, I line and color everything in. So it should go kind of fast, but it has some age on it. It is a bit waxy, a little dry. It's not uncomfortable to use, but I'm going to keep it in. At first, I was thinking that I was going to swap this out, but I'm not. I'm going to finish it. But only up until it's uncomfortable for me to color in my lips. Once it gets uncomfortable, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I have 3 eye pencils. The first one is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof. This is the retractable liner. Oh, wrong end. This is the retractable liner. And this weighed in at 5.55 grams at the beginning of the year. It now weighs 5.51 grams for a difference of 0.04 grams. It only had 7 uses because, you guys, I lost it. Well, I didn't lose it. My granddaughter lost it. Sometimes when I'm getting ready, because we watch her every day during the week. So sometimes when I'm getting ready, I let her play in my drawer over here. She's still too little to take caps off, but she likes to move things from one tray to the next. She doesn't hurt anything. It keeps her occupied while I'm getting ready. And I love that. So I am okay with that. But I lost it. I couldn't find it. And she had put it in one of my drawers back here. So I finally found it. I think it was when I did my Shop My Stash for that next month. So it's only 7 uses. But since then, I've gotten more uses on it. So I think that you can see my graphic pop up, but that is how much is left. I definitely think that this will be done by the end of the year. And thank goodness, because I have so many black liners that I need to get through, and I rarely wear a black liner anymore. So I'll be happy to get that out. The next one, this is very exciting. This is the Sephora 12-hour liner, 12-hour colorful liner in the shade Sangria. I wear this all the time. I wear this almost every day. I tight line with it, and it is a beautiful deep wine shade. Deep wine shade. And this came in at 4.17 grams. It now weighs 3.42 grams for a difference of 0.75 grams. And it had 37 uses. So yes, I use this quite a bit. And again, I don't know when it's going to be done, but let's pretend it's the same as the ColourPop. And if that's the case, that's all I have left. Where my nail is right there. So we'll see. I think it might actually be done by the end of May, but we'll see. I look for that to be an empty in the next update, which is quarterly. I don't know if I said that. I'm doing this quarterly. The last eye pencil, the last liner, whatever you want to call it, is the NYX Epic Wear liner in the shade Deepest Brown. And it's just a brown liner. It has come away from the wood. It is very old in my collection. This came in at 3.88 grams. It now weighs 3.68 grams for a total of 0.2 grams, and I had 15 uses on this. I really love this liner, and I have no doubt it is a little bigger than the Sangria, but not by much. Not by much. So I have no doubt that that is going to be done also by the end of the year. So I should by the end of the year have 3 liners out. Okay, this is the MAC lipstick in the shade Blankety, one of my favorite shades from MAC. So I have used a lot of it. Is this actually Blankety? That's not Blankety. Stand by. There. I was like, that is a lot more product than what I thought was in there. That was Plum Dandy. So I use this in the center of my lips to give a little ombre effect. I did not measure it when I first brought it in. I did take weights. So it weighed 19.87 grams when I brought it in. The end of March, it weighed 19.62 grams for a total of 0.25 grams. It had 19 uses, which is quite a bit, I think. And I wish I did not measure it. I did not measure it like on a paper or anything. So what I have done is measured it on the cap for this update. So starting next update, hopefully we see some progress on that. But so I have a cream bronzer. This is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Golden Days. It's very shiny. I did melt it down, but I mean, that was months ago. So this had a big old pan when I originally decided to bring this in. I believe I melted it down before, and you can see it's thicker on this area here because when I melted it on a mug warmer, and I had it propped up a little bit so that a lot of the product would go on this side. So when I brought this in, it was 18.44 grams, and now it weighs 18.28 grams for a difference of 0.16 grams. I have had 5 uses on this, and it is definitely too dark for me right now. So this will be a summer bronzer because this one will be done by then. So this is the product that was Frankened. This started off as the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Tan Lines. But you guys, these two products were also in this. So let's start with the let's start with the Oaks on You. So the Wet n Wild Contour Stick, which is not a contour, it's a bronzer, but Wet n Wild Contour Stick in the shade Oaks on You came in at 21.4 grams, ended at 17.19 grams for a difference of 4.21 grams. It had 12 uses. I have dug it out. This is the Essence Baby Got Bronze, which is not a bronzer, it's a contour. Because this is the shade Moon Dust. It was a very gray tone shade. It came in at 18.96 grams. And it ended at 15.09 grams. And there were 48 uses. 48 uses. So what happened? This tan lines, I'm going to put up graphics here. The tan lines had just a little bit left in it, just a little bit around the edge. So I dug out the Essence Baby Got Bronze and I melted that into there. Well, it was a little bit more cool toned than I liked. So I decided to take the rest of the Oaks on You. The night that I did this, Erin and I were talking and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to melt this in. I want it to work, blah, blah, blah. So she was cheering me on from her side. So I dug this out, as you can see, and I put it into the tan lines and I melted them all together. And it is now called Alchemy. I named it Alchemy. You can see what it looks like now, but this is not what it looked like at the end of March. I have used this every single day, every time I've done makeup since the beginning of March. So I brought this in the beginning of March. It started at 12.26 grams. And I'll put a picture up here. I weighed it without the lid on. So now I have to remind myself when I take my next weights, it has to be with the lid off because I'm such a great panner. I forgot to put the lid on because I try to weigh everything with the lid on. But you can see in the photo what it looked like when I first brought it in March, and what it looked like at the end of March. So 12.26 grams is what it was when I first brought it in March. And at the end of March, it weighed 11.19 grams for a difference of 1.07 grams and 17 uses in the month of March. So just about every time I did makeup, I used this. This will be done by the end of May, guarantee it, which is perfect because then I'll bring out my summer shade, which is the Golden Days. This is warmer, this is darker, so I think that, and this is, even though you can tell it's thicker on this side, it's still very thin in the pan. So I don't think it's going to take much. It probably will be done by the end of summer. So let's talk about some predictions. By the end of April, this will be done. And I'm thinking that these two will be done. If not, very soon into May. Before the next update, this will be done. And this will be done. And I'm thinking that the BFF and the Sangria will both be done by the next update. So we'll see. Tell me down below if you're doing a plan to pan or a 26 and 26. Tell me some of your successes that you've had so far this year, or tell me something that you're just having some issues with, something that just won't go away. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.